So this will be a first for me. I am making another vlog. I don't really have many of those on the channel. One thing about me besides gaming is that I love computer parts and PCs and stuff like that. So here's what we're gonna do today. This will be the first of me showing off where I build a gaming computer. I don't really have that many parts on hand, or I don't really have that many parts with computers that aren't done. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna build a budget gaming computer with some of my leftover parts that I don't really have any other use case for. So let's get to it. So after looking around, I found a leftover motherboard and with a leftover CPU. This is the i7 2600K. The camera is not picking it up. An old 4-core 8-thread chip, and it's honestly pretty decent still, even though it's like over 10 years old. But hey, it's one of the best CPUs you could get from that motherboard, which is from ASUS. I also have these random, really baller Golden Trident C RAM. They're only 2GB sticks each, but hey, if I can use them up in something and not throw it away, that's great. So I'm installing those on the motherboard. And then with that, I know you really shouldn't do this. I also have a couple of other sticks from Kingston, Kingston Blue, also 2GB sticks. So quad channel 8 gigs in total, mix and match RAM. So with 2600K, 8 gigs of RAM, definitely not the best. This is the leftover PC, and it looks really cool actually on the motherboard. It fits the motherboard's blue colors pretty well. I got a brand spanking new cooler from ID Cooling. It's a super cheap DK03 rainbow cooler. It's a flower style cooler. There I am joking about drinking the isopropyl alcohol. Don't do that. First of all, we gotta clean off the CPU though, and get it all nice for the new cooler. Also cleaning the cooler a little bit. But yeah, it's a flower style cooler. It cost me only 99 krowners, which is super cheap. It has RGB, not addressable RGB though. But again, this is an ultra budget gaming computer, so that's what we're gonna use it for. And obviously it's way better than a stock cooler for this CPU. And then it was all about figuring out where this mounting ring goes, and trying to find the right LGA version, and placing it down and putting it on, and then putting on the pins. And once I got that going, I opened the bag of thermal paste that came along. I hate using these bags, but again, I want to use them. I want to use all leftover parts. I don't want to grab another fresh tube of thermal paste. I'll just use the thermal paste that came with the cooler. Whatever, it works. It does the job. So managed to get that out after some time. The bag was actually really tricky and made a total mess, but oh well. Once that was done, it was just managing to mount the flower cooler and getting the clasps on the ring, which was surprisingly difficult actually. I was trying to be careful at first, but then I just kind of had to hammer it. But it worked out. Got it clicked on, and that's not going anywhere. But there it is, it's on, and it's all good. And then just plug the CPU cord into the CPU fan header and make a little knot on it so it looks nice, and plug it in. Once that was done, I wanted to make sure it works, so I grabbed the power supply that I was going to use. It's a really budget power supply, but it's Corsair. It's tried and true. And when I bought this used, it was actually brand spanking new. It had never been used before. It's a 430 watt CX430 from Corsair. And here you can see my cat inspecting the goods, making sure it's all good, and I think it gets the cat approval. Then make sure to chuck your cat away, and let's get to testing this combo. So I also went and grabbed the graphics card I was going to use while I'm setting this up, and here you can see me showing it off. This is an Asus GTX 960. It's a 2GB version, which you know is kind of ass these days. But it's the leftover part system, so we use what we have on hand. And the 2600K can definitely handle a better graphics card. Maybe upgrade to like a 1060, hell, even a 1070. I probably wouldn't go higher than that though. But the computer actually has some upgradability to it, at least for a 1060, which will perform a lot better. But but hey, it's something. So then it was just about flipping on the power switch once we got the test bench ready, and then find the 2 pins that turn the PC on. Here I use a pair of scissors, and we get it on, fans spin, that's a great sign. And I sped this up a little bit, but eventually, after some boot loops, we get in. It opens up, and here we are in the BIOS. So time to get building, and here is the case. You can see this has another PC in it though, so here I am just disassembling that. Gonna sell those parts individually. The case itself is called the Deepcool D-Shield V2. I found that out using Google Lens. Again, pretty random, but it's a full-size case and it gets the job done. And then, of course, being the pro PC builder I am, I obviously forgot something. I forgot the goddamn IO shield. But eventually we find that as well. After getting the IO shield in, looking at the motherboard, looking at the standoffs, make sure they all match, and popping that in. It's a good time to speak about storage, and that's already in the computer. I'm going to use that again. It's a brand spanking new 128GB SSD from Verbatim, which was super cheap, but hey, it's an SSD, it's great for OS, and an old hard drive, a 500GB from Western Digital, which I'm going to add together with another old Hitachi 750GB hard drive. It's worth mentioning that that 750GB hard drive gets added later, and you'll see why. So here's a little montage of me building the computer. So we got the i7 2600K, an Asus motherboard, 8GB of RAM, a 440W Corsair power supply, the GTX 962GB, 128GB SSD, and 2 older HDDs on 500GB and 750GB, and the case being the Deepcool case. And then after installing the final fan, it was the moment of truth. We powered it on and use a flash drive and load it into Windows. I then like to hit Shift F10, go into the command prompt and type disk part and just make sure my disks are clean. So I clean the secondary hard drive and the SSD and install Windows. And here is the PC in all its glory, looking actually really good in my opinion. And time to load up some benchmarks after installing Windows and removing a lot of bloatware. And it's going pretty good. I eventually get a couple issues though, but I'm about to fix them, so no worries at all. I also test the RAM and the CPU, and it's all good. Another update: the secondary hard drive, the 500GB hard drive, is actually giving me some problems, and that makes sense because I remember now when I took it away, it had some issues, and I double checked in Crystal Info. And it's got sector errors, and it's like when you're taking files on and off it, it's kind of like a 50-50 if it will work. I mean, it loaded up Fortnite and played that well, but it took some time. Nevertheless, though, I found another hard drive, which I didn't know that I had. This is from a laptop, but it's 750GB. I have no idea if it works. But I'll replace the 500GB drive. I might just leave the 500GB drive and I'll just chuck it in, and the buyer can do whatever he wants with it. But alright, so this disc is way better. It's way better temps. It's got way less hours. To put it in perspective, the other one had 19,000. But this one shows no errors. So I'm just gonna throw this in as an extra, or I guess this drive, the 3.5-inch drive, will just be an extra, and if they want to use it or not, that's up to them. Hey, now they get some more storage, and I get rid of another drive I didn't know I had, so that's cool. So this is the second minor issue, and this I didn't really want to do, or I wanted to avoid it if I could, but that is replacing the thermal paste on the graphics card. It's no problem at all, I've done it loads of times, but these blower style cards can be a bit tricky to replace thermal paste on. Seeing they have a lot of screws, but this one, as you will hear my reaction,
Holy shit,
definitely needed
that
it.
is so dry.
So then all I had to do was get the GPU all nice and cleaned up. There was a lot of leftover thermal paste from the manufacturer, but it has no effect on the performance, so I let it be. It was super dry and hard anyways, but it's alright. Put the GPU back together with fresh thermal paste. Alright, let's mount this bad boy back in. Kinda difficult to do with one hand, but and it was safe to say the GPU temps were pretty insane. I know this is idle, but still, that was pretty good. Obviously, I had to run some benchmarks again, run Firestrike again, loaded up Fortnite again. This footage is actually from the before thermal paste change, but the temps were really nice and it was all good. And then we're finished, so here it is. Here is the final PC. This is some shots I put in the ad. The shots do look better in the ad. It doesn't look so stretched and stuff, but these are a couple of them. Get some nice shots of the inside on the components. I also paired it with an older 1080p monitor and a mouse and keyboard, so hopefully this will sell. Here's the benchmark result. Obviously I had to put that back in. In my opinion, the PC turned out great. I think it looks great, and hopefully a kid will enjoy it. Considering this was all quote-unquote leftover parts, I think it made a nice budget system, a nice entry-level gamer, somebody's first gaming PC. And that's pretty much the end of this video. Hopefully somebody will buy it soon. But it turned out great, bundling it up like that. It's a nice entry-level Fortnite gaming PC with definitely a fairly decent upgrade path, actually. If you upgrade this later down the line, like a 1060 or something, maybe upgrade the RAM later on to a 16GB kit, it can definitely do even more. Hope you enjoyed this kind of video. It was fun making. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing, that's truly appreciated. And follow me on Twitch. I stream me playing games and achievement hunting and whatever else shenanigans. It's been pretty difficult for me. I suffer from severe anxiety and a lot of other shit, but you know, I'm working on it, and Twitch really helps. It's good to have a hobby doing something like this, so means a lot. Thank you so much for even taking the time for watching. Truly appreciate it. I'll catch you next time. Peace out.